Hello, this is the Silver Watchman, and welcome back to Jack and Jill. Now, in the last episode, this is episode number 6. In the last episode, we basically went over, how in a relationship everyone kind of brings their own, troubles and baggage, and yeah. So, this episode, I've got no clue. The last episode, I was going through some stuff, so yeah. We went over what is love. Now I'm going to tell you the most surefire way to ensure your relationship succeeds. This is the ultimate technique, and it could save even a dying marriage that's been dying for decades. It works, but only if both halves are participating equally. Are you ready? No? Okay, we're going forward. The number one way to save your relationship is to give it to God. Yes. No, I'm not messing with you here. I'm serious. And I don't mean like you go to God and like, please make him pick up his socks, I guess. Socks. Because he leaves them all over the place, or stop letting her burn the meatloaf, or I don't know, weird stuff. Okay, just okay. No, I mean like and like you give it to God, as in you're asking God to help you to love this person because you want to be with them. Because you want to be with them. Regardless of the cost, you want to see this through to the end. But both halves have to do this. Another, thing that you could do is, ask God to revive your marriage. And it starts with, you pray to God. But another thing that I would say is more intimate than sexual relations is this: praying together. Yes. Just pray together like you pray the way you would do privately with them, and letting them see that extremely vulnerable side of you. As difficult and scary as it might be. And don't just do this all like once and it's done. Like, do it continually. But still have your own private time with God, because that's also incredibly important. But don't make it like a petty argument kind of thing, because yeah, God will fix your marriage, but he's God. Do you really want to kind of waste his time with you two bickering in front of him, instead of you earnestly asking him, how do we fix this? So yeah, it's gonna be kind of awkward at first, but another thing you should do is communicate without shouting or throwing things. Because then nobody's listening. Then everybody's just making a lot of noise and tuning out the other noise just so they can make their noise. So then it's just a big noise and it's annoying. No. So you guys aren't gonna get it right the first time. If anything, you're going to mess up a lot. And that's okay. It's okay to feel nervous. But if you want to save that marriage, you gotta, the reason it's in the state that it's in is neither of you want to be vulnerable around the other. But because, you're married and you're basically like one, so that means if you don't want to be vulnerable around them, then that makes them not want to be vulnerable around you. You see, it's a two-way street. So that praying together, like a true, honest, genuine, non-bickering at each other prayer, it does more than just then just, show you both that stutter why. It does more than show you both that you can be vulnerable around each other, and that builds a level of trust that you guys haven't probably seen in a while. It's gonna be kind of hard at first. But it's gonna get better. Just ask God to guide you more and more to make you into the kind of person that's best for them. And then likewise, so you both are, cooperating, you're talking, that's a big thing. You have to communicate. Okay, so outside of the praying together, you also have to be willing to compromise. Not just one side compromising or winning all the time. No, I mean both sides. Both sides, compromising and working together. To make this work. It's not going to work if one side's working at it and the other side isn't. That's why I said it takes, parts from both factions. When you're frustrated, let them know. When you're happy, let them know. Communicate just about everything. Even weird and silly stuff, like when you have to use the bathroom. Because that creates a sense of trust. A sense of belonging, so to speak. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And part of being vulnerable around each other means that you're willing to act doofy around them. Act like silly and goofy. Around them, so they're gonna be a little annoyed at you at first, but at the same time they're gonna want to act silly and goofy around you. Humans are weird. Humans are just weird. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Like, just like how when you're walking with God, you have to continuously communicate, like pray and just like talk to God and walk with God and do things for God. Same thing goes with your marriage. You gotta constantly communicate. And if you're just like now trying to fix it, yeah, you can fix it, trust me. But you're gonna need some help from God. Because I can definitely tell you, Mary Sue over there, the therapist, is not really out to help you fix your marriage. A therapist is just kind of there to help you line their pockets. Meanwhile, you're still arguing and bickering just as much as you were before. You know? So it's like nothing really changed. But with God helping you fix your marriage, it will change and get better. But first, there's going to be a lot of, arguing, because I can guarantee the main reason that your marriage is falling apart is because there's no communication. So there's a lot of things that are withheld within both of you. Like pent up things that you guys never really said to each other, so it just ends up staying there, and you are now resenting each other because you never said what you wanted to say. So then nobody wins and everybody's grumpy. That means no steak. Wait. Okay then, so... And look, you could ask a married couple that's been married for a long time, and probably one of the things that they'll tell you that they've done is they communicate. Because marriage isn't just, you're tolerating the other person. No, it's like I became Porky Pig. Good gosh. It's, it's a teamwork thing, It goes like, at one point, you're single. So basically life is just, one player mode. Single player. Begin. But marriage is like now it's like 2-player mode. So now it's like a teamwork thing to get through this crazy, messed up world that I'm gonna hold that thought. That's a bit too aggressive. But yeah, you get the point. It's a bad world and I don't like it. Yeah. Now it's life is 2-player. But what happens on a team is if you guys don't cooperate, and you hear this from law enforcement, firefighting, the army, the Marines, the Green Beret, the British Army, and from Canada. Teamwork is all about communication. Just like how walking with God is all about, you need to remain connected to God and communicate with God every day, every chance you get. Because let's face it, we need God. Same thing is, for a relationship. You got to communicate your feelings. You can't just hold it in and hope they'll figure it out. If they didn't figure it out by now, they're not gonna figure it out. That's why you gotta communicate. No, we're not. You can't read minds, despite what the psychic might tell you. Copycats, fakers, all of them. Sorry, I just... Yeah, every single, they have demonic abilities, which are just copies of God-given powers. And so they're like an affront to God. And an insult. Sorry, I sidetracked. But yeah. It could have been a long time since you guys were, even hanging, just sitting down and just hanging out. I just mean hanging out, just chillaxing with around the television. And just sitting there, just watching TV. Around each other, or just just playing a board game together, or just playing a video game together, or just taking the time to tell each other how you feel without turning it into a fight. Trust me, nobody wants to sit around that and just... Yeah, no, I mean, not even God wants to sit around that. Because it's you came to me for help, give you advice, but you're not even letting me get a word in because you're too busy fighting with each other. You see? So you gotta communicate, 1. You gotta bring God into it, 2. And 3. You gotta stop trying to be the winner all the time. Because it's not about who wins and who loses, because if you're fighting, then you both have lost. You've already both lost, because that means that you both are upset. You know? Yeah, you know. So also, don't be, too high and mighty to just say you're sorry every now and then. Even if you are technically the one in the right, if you're arguing, you're both in the wrong. Nobody's right if you both have to fight it out just to get your point across. Then you both have lost. But if you're trying to communicate and you're trying to make it better because you really want to make it better, then that's a good thing. And it'll get done even faster with God's help. How is God going to fix your marriage? You've got me on that one. I don't know. But just because I don't know doesn't mean that God doesn't know. So yeah, that's pretty cool. God knows how to fix your marriage. But here's the thing, are you both willing to listen so you can save that marriage? Because if you're not, then why are you bothering? And I know that is really harsh for me to say to you. But this is a thing that takes effort from both sides. Because It's not. It's it's not just the man's fault that the relationship is not going the relationship is not going well. And it's not just a woman's fault either. It's both of your faults. Now, every relationship is different. Everyone's got a different way of, communicating, and God's got different ways of fixing different marriages because, let's face it, we're all human, and we are all is not a slap a band-aid on it and it's like, there, you're cured. But doctor, why did you put a band-aid on his toe? He's got a concussion. I put a band-aid on him, that means he's cured. It's not like that, okay? That's basically what going to marriage counseling is. That's what it's like. Slapping oh my gosh, it's like slapping a band-aid on your big toe that's stubbed, when meanwhile you've got a concussion. That makes sense? Yeah, it makes sense. So but going to God can give you the specific way to fix your marriage, which is kind of like going to the doctor, and instead of getting like a one thing fix everything kind of medicine, like your appendix is going bad, and then they just do the removal of the appendix, or you're needing a heart transplant, then you get the heart transplant. Like that. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh yeah, no, you're going to get it fixed in just a little bit. Yeah, no, it's going to take some serious effort depending on how bad things have gotten. And that really does depend. But other than that, I'd say God can fix your marriage. But you gotta pray together. You gotta pray separately. And you gotta make an honest effort. Because if you don't, nobody wins. And no matter what, nobody wins. If you're in a relationship and you're arguing, you both have lost. And some people are like, oh, arguments are good. They let you get everything out. And disagreeing is okay. It's okay to disagree. But arguing means that you took it a step above disagreeing and now you're just, fighting with each other. Which means that nobody's really listening to anyone. Yeah, you could disagree and, one side will be like, well, but like, part of that's okay. But like, if it's just pet peeves, that's doesn't really matter. But at the same time, just ask God for help. He'll help you out. But both halves have to participate. I said that a lot this video because it's really, really important. If one half is participating and the other half isn't, then it's going to become very lopsided and it's going to be very hard. So, and then nobody wins. But you both win when you have God helping you out. And he'll help you out. If you are scared to, be vulnerable, then that's also understandable. But know this, your lack of willingness to be vulnerable to your partner, on the surface, it may not look like it's the thing that's bothering them. But deeper than the surface, they are extremely bothered by it. Because they want to be vulnerable around you too. But they can't if you're not vulnerable around them. You don't have to agree on everything. But God provides something that you both can agree on. God is God. And God is great. And God is good. Another thing that you can agree on is the sky is blue? Blue. The sky is blue. And dogs are dogs. I'm serious. I'm giving you like the most basic things that anybody could agree on. That frogs are frogs. But you're gonna need to learn to agree on more than just those things. You can agree on the fact that you're both in a relationship. You could say, no, wait, they might break out into a fight. Well, fighting is normal when you're trying to fix the relationship, so that arguing around, yeah, that'll be pretty normal. If you are disagreeing on a religion, come to God. The only right religion is the one that acknowledges God as God. But you can't really beat that into your partner, because then that makes them not want to be with God. You gotta be patient with them. You gotta take the time to explain to them all the things that God has done for you. And if they're not a saved individual, they're gonna be like, well, that was probably because of this. And just kind of continue. But if they're like, if they start getting overwhelmed by it, they don't shove it down their throats. Don't be afraid to cry in front of each other. Believe it or not, when you cry in front of somebody, that's a sign of trust. At least in my opinion. If you cry in front of, like willingly, like cry in front of somebody, not like, complaining cry, but like genuine, I'm sad and in pain cry. then that's gonna make him be like, well, first, why are they crying around me? They've never cried around me before. But that shows them that you have a vulnerable side, so you don't always look like an armored porcupine to them. So you're not so prickly all the time. Because if you're really prickly, they're not gonna wanna connect to you. But if you're willing to be, soft and squishy and pudgy emotionally, but being that physically also works. Okay, take it from a person that's quite honestly, despite the abilities given to me by God and my voice, is possibly the most non-threatening human on the planet. And that's all thanks to God. That's a complete, turnaround. Now, do I have a temper? Yes. Do I get overwhelmed and frustrated? Yes. Has God been working on that? Also, yes. And you gotta learn to trust your partner a little bit. But this is another thing where God can come in and make it easier. Because you trust in a God, right? Well, if you want to fix your marriage and you're trusting God to fix your marriage, then you also have to trust your partner despite their track record, to show them that you trust them. And this is something that both parties have to do. If one party is doing it, it's not going to work. Everything I've told you so far, it only works if both halves are doing it. It can't just be like one person trying this. Because if it's just one person trying it, you're going to get frustrated, and then it's just going to fall apart anyway. And that's not the point of God bringing you here to watch this video. The point is for you guys to learn the basics of fixing your marriage. Now, I've made many videos of this, concerning this, because apparently this is an issue. Yeah. You both have to learn to, if you don't have time, if your issue while your marriage is falling apart is you don't have time for each other, then make time for each other. Now, this is another thing where God can help you out there when He wants you to, when you're wanting God to fix your marriage. what do you have to do with God? You don't find time for God. You make time for God. That's what I do with these videos. I have a very busy schedule, but still, with God's help, I make time for Him, either when I'm driving or doing these videos. So yeah, you make time for your partner and for God. Even if you don't have it, you make the time. Meaning, the best way to do this is to, at least mentally, I could do this, so I'm going to try to explain it to you as best as I can. You set everything on kind of like a priority list in your brain, where this is high priority, this is medium priority, this is low priority. You know? Because if not, then everything's kind of all a jumbled mess of, what do I do? Okay? But if you have a mental checklist of okay, so this is a high priority thing. Something high priority, for example, would be spending time with God, which means you make time for God. That's high priority. Something that's medium priority would have to be something like watering the grass or something like that. And something that's low priority would be something that's reading a book. Unless it's the Bible. Then that will go under medium to high priority. Yeah. But aside from that, you basically got it. That's basically how it works. It shouldn't be too hard for you to do, unless you can't do that. Then I didn't think of that. Oh. So back to telling them just about everything. Even the goofy stuff or the really weird stuff, the kind of gross stuff, like saying that you have to use the bathroom randomly. Yeah, it'll gross them out, but at the same time, they'll just kind of be like, why are they telling me that? They don't need to tell me. That's just weird. But then you continue on, just say you tell them just about all of your plans, and then they'll be like, oh, okay. That kind of... Yeah. Thank you for sitting through this whole video. I know it got kind of weird at points, but I thank you for sitting through this. So glory be to God, and blessings be upon you. Thank you. This is the Silver Watchman. signing out.